What kind of place are they? 1 hour set. You know, are we able to face off against challenges and see the positivity in them? Are we able to get through the things that nobody else can, get to the places that nobody else will? And what is that place, you know? What is that place where, you know, you are? You know, what does it make that makes you you? You know, what challenges are you facing off against today? You know, where are you applying your energy? You know, what type of energy are you using on a daily basis? And, you know, what does it take for your energy to start flowing? You know, can you see the positivity and the ability for you to be you? Can you see the positivity in the mentality that you have, the challenges that you face off against? Because you're going to face off against things every day. You're going to face off against things in ways, and things are going to work for you, and they're going to work against you. And it's going to come down to your energy inside and the understanding of this energy, the understanding of your being. Yep, I am doing free energy readings. Yesterday I did about 3 and talked to about 4 people yesterday. You're welcome to call in and get an energy reading done. I got somebody on. Yep, you can definitely call in and get it going. All right. Blessings, how you doing?
Man, so I could just tell you how I'm feeling and just open up and you just help me.
Well, the energy inside of a human being is a very interesting thing. It flows off of different energy fields, and each individual energy field is related to how a human being acts, reacts, and everything that happens in their day. And so you definitely use a lot of your ability to voice yourself. However, you use a lot of your heart too. So a lot of the things that affect you come from not being able to voice your heart.
Yeah.
So this means that the type of energy that you have inside is actually a green energy.
Okay.
So the understanding of how that works, and what I found is a lot of people that have green energy are sensitive to their surroundings.
Yes, very.
And so understanding how that works is the ability to understand yourself. Now, everybody has a human energy code inside of their body that works that same exact way in different ways. There's people that their operation is off of their thought process, or their red energy, where they stand their ground. Some of these people, you see, they're really short and they get really, they got to voice themselves all the time, So I've been doing meditation for nearly a decade. I started when I was 27 and I'm 34. So I've been doing it for quite some time. And so what I would basically explain to you is that you got to start working with the ability to voice yourself, but you got to put it in a way in which you start working on you,
Yeah.
It's okay to care about a whole bunch of other people, but if you don't give yourself any time, then that energy doesn't have the ability to hit that place of depth perception.
Right.
And that's where the biggest challenge with green energy coding is. And I'm sure you already know this.
Yeah, like I'm kind of familiar with what you're saying. Because I'm very sensitive, but I just started a job 2 days ago, and I don't really mesh well with the other employees' energies. I'm more in my head.
Right, and that's the depth perception. So if you look at your energy field, your sciatic nerve system runs your red energy field. Your orange energy field runs your ability to your human organ system. You see a lot of like fairies and stuff like that. Those people that are just like pixies, I guess they call them. You know what I'm saying? And then as you start to head up, you start to head into the people, they have a lot of thoughts. You know, you see somebody, they're just really yellow. Everywhere they go is yellow. Those types of people, they have that kind of energy, and that's how their thought process works. And so as you head up, you head into the people who have the understanding and the relation of human connection, which that is green energy. Then you have those people that are a little bit up into the voicing of themselves. And so there can be the combination between the two. And then you have the depth perception, which runs like the whole entire being, like the being present. And then you have the nervous system energy. And you see a lot of these spiritual people that are all like, they're just like white. It's because that's they're working with the knowledge in the universe. So each individual energy is also related to the earth and to the air and to everything that exists around us and inside of us. So it's not a negative or a positive thing. It's a positive thing to understand who you are and how to utilize what you have.
Yeah.
So like for instance, when I went to Paris with my soon-to-be ex-wife, we went to the city, and it's called the Palace of Versailles. You go there, there's a mass amount of green energy. There's plants everywhere. So you go in different places, you're going to find different kinds of energy. A lot of my meditation that I've been working with is to get each of those energy fields inside to sync up with the whole being as that purpose. Because each part of the planet is related to an energy field, and that also exists inside of you and I and everybody. So I just started to learn how to read it as I was meditating in the sauna, and people started coming up to me, and I was holding conversations with them on their own place, on their own spectrum, where their energy was. I started to understand how all energy fields work, and I started breaking barriers, because what's inside is greater than what's on the outside. So the body is clay to your mind. So if you use your strengths, like for instance in a position like that, you start to look at it, start to write this stuff down, start to apply it. You know, I worked in a call center for 3.5 years. I wasn't the best at spelling. I sat there and wrote everything, and I circled it over and over and over again until the point where I was there and other people were getting cut on a daily basis. I worked for Chrysler for 2.5 years selling cars, and I was first or second place every month. I drove 50, 60 hours a week for Uber and driving about 100 hours a week between selling cars and driving full time. So what I'm telling you is it's not about your weaknesses. It's about seeing your strengths and your actual energy. And those are the types of things that you want to go towards. So it's the understanding of that, though, that takes a lot of time, you know?
What about, like, love relationships? Who does a green get along with?
Well, that all depends on the combination inside of the human being. So each individual human being is going to have a different combination of energies. And it's when you find those kind of energies, for instance, I can think of a couple that are out here where I live, out in Prescott. They are a red energy coding with a yellow energy coding. So the red and yellow are close to each other. So what you should be searching for is people with a depth perception, so they can elevate you higher. Do you understand?
Depth perception is what?
The awareness around oneself. That's a purple energy.
Purple energy.
So that's what, with your energy coding, that's what you should be searching for. People that see ahead. Because you want your energy to be elevated. You don't want it to be brought down. It needs to go up. They need to bring you towards levels where your thought process, it continues to evolve. Like for instance, there's a guy in the Netherlands who's a green energy, and he's dominant in his purple energy field. So that's an example of a green energy who's elevated to a higher level of energy, understanding. It's not about, it's about understanding yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who see before you. Okay. Who elevate your thinking.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, you could see two people and you can look at a person who really is, who's on the, like, for instance, a red energy field is going to be searching for somebody whose thought process is in place, because they're just, whereas a green energy field is going to have emotion, so they're going to need somebody who's going to have a little bit more of a thought process to see things in the future, because a person with emotional energy is going to be held back by somebody who's worried all the time. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
So you want to search always for things that elevate you in life.
Wow.
So, but that takes understanding of your own energy. Huh?
Do you understand dreams? Like why people just even have visual dreams when they sleep?
Well, the thing is that we are energy. And so we are both focus and knowledge. And so when we use both of those in a place where we start to understand that purpose, then the things that we see become a reflection on the outside of our own knowledge in our mind. So a lot of times when you're dreaming, what's going on is that you're opening up your mind to overcoming your own challenges. Now, people that do a lot of meditation, they decompress that during the day. And so when they open up at night, it's just about more so about being crystal clear and your actual ability to focus past it.
So it's not necessarily what you see in the dream. It's just you opening up those portals.
Yeah, you're opening up yourself to your own knowledge inside of your mind. So we're yet but a tool in this universe. I'll go ahead and get another energy reading here after this. I just want to definitely help this person out real quick, and then I'll get going to the next one, okay? So, understanding that your energy inside is important, and that we all have focus and knowledge is the purpose of that energy. So, Robert Kiyosaki stated that energy is, emotion is nothing more than energy in motion. So when we look at like a heat, when we look at a scan of the human body, we see all of these different colors of energy. So it's understanding that first knowledge of that first time you did something, and that you, from that place forward, you chose that it was positive or negative. Are you with me? So it's the understanding that those are connections. Like, for instance, if you look at different times, if you've never seen a aircraft before, and you look up, and the only thing you could relate it to is a bird, you're going to all of a sudden call an aircraft a bird. You're going to call it a flying silver eagle, right? So this just goes to say that the knowledge that you're using is what you relate to. And it's great to watch when people sit down and they try to do lotus with me, and they're sitting down to do full cross-legged meditation, and their mind is not allowing their body to do that because they're not letting their body become clay to their mind. It's not that they can't do it, it's that the mind is not letting the person do it, you know? Let's go ahead and get the next person on here. All right. That was a great conversation. And so that's how an energy reading goes down. That's what it's about. It's about understanding it for yourself. It's about getting to that place. Let's see if we can get some more of these going on. I know people are trying to call in. Just getting it started here for the day. You know, we just had an energy reading here a minute ago. So as I'm waiting for more people to call in to get on that page where we're starting to utilize it, I want to talk a little bit more about how we can use our mentality to overcome our challenges. a lot of the challenges that we face off against, in multiple spectrums, they come from our mind. They come from our ability to believe that we can achieve something or that we can become something. And you can do a lot to overcome your challenges with your mentality. You can do a lot from learning from the challenges that you have. Like, for instance, about a week ago, I burnt myself, okay? And it was a learning lesson. It was an ability for me to realize that, everything that we do teaches us. It teaches us how to focus to the point where we see past the pain. And a lot of times it's when you reach out to the point where that pain is coming from that you give yourself the ability to overcome it. And it's really your mentality that is going to stop you, or it's going to help you to achieve it. And each place that we go inside of ourselves, each time that we face off against the root cause of things, where we go to that place where you're focusing beyond your challenges, then the ability to make it through your challenges starts to come to you. The ability for you to go to the place where nobody else can inside. And so each day you are going to have to look at what you can do to get there for yourself. And it's going to be asking you, how do you want to get there? It's going to be like, hey, is this what you want? It's going to be asking you, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And it's going to be at that point where the universe is going to be able to help you out. It's going to, be asking you these types of questions daily. And, it's going to be in the professional aspect where you're communicating with people that, they get to see the actual ability of utilization of your mentality. It's going to be when you're in your positions, where you're in your homes, where you're in your ability to understand your own energy, to where you're going to start to see the strengths from it. And so how do we start to use what we have? How do we start to get to the ability to where the challenges don't have the ability to hold you back? And so it's in the ability to operate with that kind of energy. And it's within that kind of energy that we start to gain access to our strengths, gain access to our positive vibe, where what we have going on is not greater than what we are inside. And we do that on a daily, we do that on a weekly, we get down to the point where nobody else is willing to go. What kind of energy do you have flowing inside of yourself? I know that more people will end up calling in here. They'll be asking, they'll be searching for energy readings. We definitely can get a few more of these done today. Look forward to helping out quite a few people here. If you are in the Prescott area, you're looking to get an energy reading, or anywhere around the world, you can definitely connect with me. For the month of December, I will be giving away free energy readings. So it's up to you to ask yourself that question: how are you going to do it? How are you going to get there for you? It's only inside of you that you can. It's only inside of your challenges that you can reflect. It's inside of your ability to focus beyond where other people would not want to go. And so each day that we do that for ourselves, we liberate ourselves. Each day that we speak our mind, that we speak who we are inside, that we start to use the energy inside of ourselves to that place where we're using even that. Yeah, E equals mc2. The theory of relativity, the ability to understand that we are both mass and energy, the ability to use what we have inside to overcome our own challenges, is to turn us both into mass and energy. And a lot of people don't want to get there for themselves. They don't want to go through that. And it's to that point where we focus beyond it. And I'd like to get some more energy readings done here. I do definitely do energy. You are welcome to call in. The link is in the description as well, where you can get a private energy readings done. In the month of December, I'm giving away free energy readings. So this is your time if you're looking to get an energy reading. A lot of people like to call them aura readings, but it's a little bit more in depth than that. Aura just talks about the energy color that you have on the outside. Talk about the understanding the depth of the energy inside and how it relates to you and how you can utilize it for your strengths. You know, I've been doing this for some time and I've helped out quite a few people, and you know, I've come across nearly 100,000 people in the last 7 years. So I've been at this for a while. You can go back and watch videos and you can see that the understanding, it comes from a person who's willing to focus to that place where you use what you have. It comes from you understanding your own energy and helping other people out, and that's what I want to do in the month of December. Normally, a reading like that would be about a $25 reading, but this month I want to give them away, because when I was sitting down speaking yesterday on the phone, on the Periscope with other people, I started to realize if you want to do something because you love it, do it, even if you give it away for free. And so what I decided to do was to just put donations in there if anyone wanted to donate. But I do really want to do that. I really want to help people out. I've been at this for nearly a decade. And so I want your mentality to increase. I want your ability for you to be yourself. I want you to share. I want you to subscribe. I want you to ask the questions. Start to understand your own energy. You know, as Robert Kiyosaki stated, emotion is nothing less than energy in motion. So how do we start to get your energy flowing in that motion, into that positivity? And so I'm going to go ahead and start working with these chat here. You're welcome to call in. I'll invite anybody to call in. We can work through challenges. We can use the yogi mentality. I am a fourth generation meditator. So this means that I have lineage of meditation. You know, my mom was in the ashram of Yogi Bhajan. You know, my dad went and did meditation in Japan. I mean, I learned meditation on my own. They did not teach me. I learned this for myself. So my grandpa tried to do it and tried to get into it and became a professor. So we're talking about some serious connection here to the universe. We're talking about some serious understanding. And, you know, I've been working at this by myself for nearly a decade. You know, and then I realized that as I was losing, I was receiving more in return. I was getting to the place where I was utilizing that, and I broke 5 hours without leaving a sauna. You know, and people in San Diego used to know that I was that person who could do what nobody else could do inside the sauna. Blessings, blessings.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So you utilize a lot of your ability to stand your ground in life, huh? Uh-huh. We're a little bit loud, huh?
Yes. We need it.
And that's okay, too. That's a perfectly good thing. I would be searching out people that have a lot of thought process, because it elevates your thought a little bit there. It's with that place. A lot of the red energy goes with the orange energy fields. But it's okay. But the real place is to search after yellow energy, because it'll elevate you past that point. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So search out some really intelligent companions out there. There are a lot of them that their place of energy is in that central location, because where that red energy comes in, that's that place where you actually got to search for how you can get to that level of elevation. And I always recommend to at least be one energy field higher if you're red energy. Not orange. Not orange. And you know what I'm saying.
Said not orange.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because, see, See, that's the place that gets locked up for red energies. They get frustrated and they try to search out orange energy fields when really what they need to be searching out is people that have a lot of energy in the place of thought process, because they have the ability to work with people with red energies.
Right.
So what are some of the challenges we're facing off against?
Just trying to figure out where I'm going to live next year, and I think that's only my real challenge right now.
Right. No, I understand. You know, one of those things that's a really good way to start getting it into it is to start to stimulate your mind into the thought process. So how do you start doing that? Start writing it down every day. Start putting down, I'm going to live, and then where? And then put it down in front of yourself. And then when you're not on it, you really got to get that subconscious to elevate you into the thought process place where you're not really too much worried about it. Because a lot of red energy boils up in the stomach. So it gets frustrated, and then as soon as it's frustrated, it doesn't have a place to release. So it starts heading upwards. And so how do we start getting that to elevate? So when you listen to motivational videos on YouTube, what happens is those people have a thought process that brings the universe to you. So instead of trying to throw on a whole bunch of music, start putting on like YouTube videos about positivity and motivation, and start putting them into a place where it starts to elevate you, and start listening to it. It'll help you to get through that place. You know, like perfect example of a person who helps a lot with that is Eric Thomas.
Okay.
So he'll actually start to use that kind of red energy to actually start to spark those other parts of you inside, so that you can start to achieve your dreams, the things that you want to, like where do I want to live, what do I want to do. Those types of things can actually happen, but only if you allow it to happen and flow, and to recognize the other energy fields inside of your own human being. You with me? Which is the reason why listening to things like that will help you to elevate, and they'll start to help you to answer those questions for yourself.
Yeah, like today, I just feel like I've been trying to put it in the air. Like I don't know, this year's been really hard. It's been difficult for everyone, but like, I don't know. But I feel like my family is just, I don't know. I don't think they really want me to move out. And they're just negative. Like, they're just putting negative.
You just said exactly what you got to search for, the other opposite of it. Each action, Newton's third law, for each action there's equal and opposite, right? So, search for the positive. You know, if they're negative, let it go out of its way on its own. For reals. Don't even try to hold on to it.
Yeah.
So search for the positive angle. Like, I mean, I was working with a girl out here. She had stage 4 metastasized cancer. And, you know, the medical were trying to teach her that good and bad are what exists. You know, this is good for you, this is bad. But really what's going on is inside is either positive or negative, and it's up for you to see what is positive and negative. Like, if you see those people aren't positive for your life, why hang around them? And honestly, it doesn't matter what time it is, people are going to have a hard time, and people are going to find a way to stay positive and work through challenges. So, I mean, at any level, hard time has been happening for everybody through the whole entire time of time.
Yeah.
It's the mentality that has to get to the place where it utilizes what you have, and it's the recognizing of your strengths that help you to overcome your weaknesses.
Yep.
And it's easy to say until you're sitting with a pen and paper in front of yourself, and you're going through the things, and you're writing it down, and you're putting yourself in a place where you're using your own mentality to not allow yourself to be around people who will give you that kind of a mentality, that negative mentality. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I was in Arizona at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And my roommate turned out to be a little, not even a little crazy. She was really crazy, and I had to come back home, and I did not want to come back home. And
I understand that. Trust me, I understand exactly how that is. See, I'm blessed in how these challenges have actually worked in my favor. And this is why I'm trying to share this with you. I live in Prescott, and I lived in San Diego for nearly 8 years. And I was married for nearly 8 years. I'm still married. My wife, she went to Madrid, Spain, and she went to study. And I was supporting her. And she literally totaled one of my vehicles and put us into a hotel because we were both working to take care of each other. And from there, it ultimately went down to the point where I found myself sleeping in my van for 2 months, delivering food with 2 dogs, and a wife that had abandoned me. Now, I don't want to be considered anything. I'm not no victim. Let me get this clear. The time I spent inside the van, I was doing meditation inside the sauna, washing my clothes, and I was making $4,000 a month.
Okay.
So, I wasn't no victim. I came out here to Arizona to drop off my dogs to go back to San Diego to work for Chrysler, which I had sold cars for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And when I came out here, I decided to stay out here and start to work out here. So I started helping people with meditation out here in Arizona. Came across somebody with stage 4 metastasized cancer, started helping them with meditation. So I've been doing this for nearly a decade, this kind of energy reading. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I've been inside of myself, and other people have come up to me to ask me, and I've actually helped people out. Then I got online and I helped 7 people in 1 hour.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we're talking about something that I've been working at for a very long time, but I really haven't shared too much for a very long time, you know? So what I'm telling you is, limit that mind mentality that says this is a hard time. Just throw it out the door. Do you have to survive? Yes, you do. You have to be yourself. You have to see yourself with a positive angle. You have to not allow those things to have the ability to overtake you. And the way you do that is by not allowing them to stop you from being positive. So how does that change it? Well, the thing is people have taught across time, you have to change. That's not how things work inside. How things work inside is we decide if something is positive or negative, right? Let me go ahead and pull this person up here too. And so as we put ourselves in a place where we're utilizing positivity, the things that are negative on their own will move out of the way.
Okay, yeah.
So if you allow them to and you don't hold on to them, like AKA my wife there, right?
Yeah.
Then what happens is blessings start to fill you. They literally start coming to you. So hopefully that brings you closer to seeing that you can do it. But you have to put your mentality in the place to achieve it. We disable ourselves. We disable our mentality, not somebody else. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. You have a blessed day, okay?
You too. Have a good evening.
All right. Yes, all.
Bye-bye.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hello. So you're having a lot of challenges where you're in a place where a lot of things are going on, huh?
Yeah, and since Corona, 6 to 7 months, I'm just playing video games and sleeping, eating, that's all.
Well, see, the thing is a lot of those people are vibrating in both directions. And I gather that you're allowing a lot of those people to vibrate in your direction in a way in which it's affecting you. Yeah? So, I mean, you're in a case where giving yourself the space might be a good idea. You know, taking a little bit of time away for yourself may bring you to a little bit of a place where you're actually starting to face off against those things that are really going on inside. So recognize that the vibrations of other people can definitely affect you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just saying he told that.
Well, you got to talk a little bit closer into your mic, my friend.
Yeah, so actually I was not able to talk, that's why I said what it said.
Right. Well, I think what you said was you were asking me about meditation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so meditation is self-study, all right? So a lot of these people that teach you how to go to a teacher, they're seeking out how to teach you how to learn from yourself, okay?
Yeah.
So the best answer here about meditation is from Bruce Lee. He said that when people seeked out Bruce Lee, they were ultimately seeking out themselves in a combatic form. So that can apply to oneself and oneself's understanding of their own reflection. So how does that relate to you? Well, what I was saying is you're letting the people around you work you up to the point where their vibrations are affecting you instead of you focusing on your own vibration. Right. So like for instance, if I came out there, I would have a lot of people being attracted to me. They would start walking up to me, they would start trying to ask me to teach them. And the reason why is because I've been at this for so long that I don't need a teacher. I look at these cushions that they have and these pictures of Sadhguru, and the thing is, they don't get the point. The Aisha Association, they have their own rules. They have their own boundaries. There's no boundary inside of yourself. The only boundary that you have is inside of your mind and your own ability to have a mentality to overcome your own challenges. See, the classroom isn't outside. It's inside of the mind, and it's a reflection on the outside. So that's the reason why a lot of these monks seclude themselves, because they realize it isn't about the things on the outside. It's about being greater on the inside than what's going on around you. And so what's happening right now is the things that are going on around you are greater than the things that are going on inside.
Yeah, so I have to actually change it. Last time you said me that took a pen and paper and write every day. But I thought I will do that, but I couldn't.
So, yeah, there's many different teachers, especially in the area and region in which you're in. See, the thing is that you're the best teacher of your life, though. And those teachers...
I know that Sadhguru, I watched earlier some of his videos, but now not.
There we go. That's what I'm saying is that it's inside of the mentality. See, science isn't wrong. The creator isn't wrong. The creation isn't wrong. The connection is you. You're a part of that journey. It's up to you to get the connection in place to where you're greater inside than your challenges going on around you. Seek out the teacher inside, and the answers will come. See, ask yourself, how many years have you been alive? So, if you've been alive that long, how many years have you been certified to be yourself? See, that's the question where the true teacher and the student is inside. So that's where the greatest teacher of our life is inside of us. The knowledge is sufficient inside of oneself when the liberation comes to the level where the focus hits the place to extract it.
Yeah, I majorly think that there are two people inside us. Means one tries to move it, but the other is too much means without ask questions that why is it wrong? Means one says that this is good, this is bad. You should do this to be.
No. See, here's the thing. The thing is that we are positive and negative forces in this universe. When you do something, it fills something. It either fills it with positive energy or it fills it with negative energy. So everything that we're doing is filling something. So as we understand that process of filling our being with the universe itself, we can see beyond our own angle of choice. It's to see the positive things and not to choose good and bad. What if I don't want to choose good and bad? See, that's what I'm saying. So at a certain level, we have to see what's positive in our lives. For each action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, I want to know that, you said that you have done dedicated meditation. Like, actually, what you are doing?
What?
It's like sitting for many hours or something like that.
Okay, so in meditation, there's more than one part of meditation. So there's a connection with your breath, with your being. So Einstein stated that mass and energy are interchangeable sources. So your breath comes in, your breath goes out. This is your mass. You are this mass, you are this being, you are present inside of this human being. You're a human being, you're present being, you're being. And so inside of that being, you have an internal breath, and you have an external breath, and you have a center breath. Inside the center breath is the classroom. We, us, this mass, this energy, this being, this presence, oneself. So there's two places where you can master it from. You can master it from the incoming breath, which is the student being absorbed into you as the universe using you as a tool, or you could sit inside of the classroom, omnipresent, or you can allow the knowledge to extract and to master the external breath. So, spending an hour to an hour in a sauna and an hour in a steam room, I learned to work on the incoming breath, the center breath, and the outgoing breath. When I came out here, I started to do the same thing, and so I started to do things similar to what the Vedas do, with speaking with meditation. So I have a whole practice of meditation, which I do, that I've been working on myself with my own practice. And years and years and years of meditation. Now, if other people use parts of that, or whatever part they use, that's their practice. That's their study. That's their teaching. My meditation is from my mind. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think means everyone should do that so all can achieve you understand that position, to see a life in that way and all.
Meditation is your whole being. If you have knowledge and focus, it's up to oneself to see their knowledge inside as sufficient. It's up for you to see yours. It's not for somebody else to see for you. It's not your own pains are for you to become teachers. They're for you to find the best through the pains, to find the challenges, to overcome them, to let the emotions go, to let the liberation inside become one with oneself. We only stop ourselves. We only disable ourselves. And we only free ourselves. So that is what meditation is. When someone comes to seek out meditation, they're coming to seek out themselves. They're coming to seek out their ability to understand themselves, to find out where the challenges are coming from, where the things that they're looking to overcome within themselves. I can do nothing for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can only teach one how to do it for themselves. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the knowledge is inside of you. The focus is you. You're on your path. You are on your journey. So when people come to seek out me, they're coming to seek out how I use skills that I learned from years and years and years of focusing, to the point where that foundation become a place where I can utilize it. And you could see it through energy readings. You could talk, you could pull up, you could pull up books. You could pull up the Kabbalion, and what I'm talking about is in it even. You could pull up the Gavadi, what I'm talking about it. You could pull up the Tao. You could pull out the Bible. You pull out any book across the face of the planet, and it's talking about similar things that I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Last time you said that means you are also facing the same problem of like we don't know yourself. So after leaving it, or you can say after means going from.
So I have the ability, as it's talked about in the Gavadi, I have that power to see the energy inside of a human being without technology to be able to do it. With oneself.
So what are the things that came into your mind? Like, I want to leave this, or means like, what is more than this? Like, how did you actually leave it?
How did I learn it? Through meditation.
Sorry?
Through meditation, I learned how to do it. Through working through the energy inside of oneself to where it's sufficient to the point where the energy is able to be understood, to the place where you can understand other people's energy and see other people's energy. Hours and hours, weeks and weeks, months and months, and years of meditation got me to the place where I could start to want to help out other people. The best answer I could give to you there.
Most of the people just can't use the technology. That is the like memes, videos, and that all everything, social chat and all.
Because it's not against somebody else. The whole thing is inside of ourselves. It's when you believe in you. It's when you sit down with yourself. It's what I talk about all the time. Putting the stuff down, sitting down with self-study, sitting down with giving yourself the place to be who you are inside. You gotta get down to who you are and not allow the things that aren't meant for you to be in your life. See, a lot of people see that my wife left me as a horrible thing. I don't see that way. I see that as the ability for my journey, that person was on my journey for a period of time, and that there's other things that filled that space, that positivity comes in that way. I don't feel pain inside because the mentality fills it with a place of an ability to understand that the knowledge is sufficient inside of oneself to liberate oneself. You know? Reminds me of when I was washing my clothes in 24-hour fitness bathroom. I was meditating and I was washing all my clothes every day. And I really appreciated the ability to wash my own clothes.
Yeah, I also do friends sometimes when the parents are not there, they're at home, I do the most of the household and all. Then I understand some of more things.
The simplicity.
Academic events, I'm totally gone. Like just eating, sleeping, and that I think so.
Yeah, it's inside of simplicity that we find ourselves. And as I was teaching people, they were looking at me and asking me, "Oh, you mean selfish?" And I said, no. Let me go ahead and explain to you. When all you have is yourself, you're not selfish. When you are giving, and people that are coming in your direction are coming in your direction because they know you for you. When you're honest with oneself, that is selfless. That's not selfish. You're not trying to take anything from anybody. All you're trying to do is be yourself. And that is when things start to happen, and that's how the universe starts to yield its wealth. By being yourself.
According to you, what should be the purpose of life of a normal human being?
To me, what's the purpose of life?
That should be of everyone, means every human being.
Okay. Wow. So, recognizing that knowledge and focus is important. That each of us are a student and a teacher inside. That the universe is a tool. That we are a tool in the universe, and when we understand this, that we are a purpose in the universe, that connection leaves a ripple, and other people need you for you. And when you get to that place of discipline where one is inside who they truly are, that centering of oneself, then we become what our purpose on this face of this planet is, and that is to be a reflection of inspiration. So when we inspire each other, when we uplift each other, when we say, hey, I have had these same challenges that you've had, and we put ourselves in a place and other people know us as an inspiration, that's when we have a victory in life. That's when we are moving in a positive direction.
Parents from the birth just tell us to make money and live. Just earn a living with us.
No, not just one way. This means all universal tools. All universal tools. All. Not just one. All universal tools. This means your families. This means your jobs. This means your professions. This means your businesses. This means your relation with other people. And it means the understanding of oneself.
Actually, I'm into college in 1 or 2 months. Like, I don't want to do engineering, but my parents are telling that do it for 4 years, then after that you will have many options. Means if you don't know what your interest is. So, what should I do according to you?
Well, first you should listen to yourself. However, when you listen to yourself, you must study you first. Have you taken the time to write everything down that you truly want to do? Have you sat down with yourself to start to see what will truly take you on your path? What will truly take you on your path?
What you wanna do? So I don't say means I don't know that. And,
See, that's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people say they can't be motivated. Okay? If I give them a piece of paper and a pencil and I tell them every single day they need to write everything down for a month, all of a sudden we're going to start seeing what they're motivated in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to do the groundwork for yourself. You got to put it in front of yourself. Nobody else will do it for you. Treat it like this. If tomorrow you are by yourself and you no longer had their support, what would you do? What would you do? Take advantage of the time you have now. Focus into the things that are really going to bring you closer to being that person that you want to become. Give yourself that mentality and put yourself in a place where you're so focused that it absorbs you. See, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't give them that space. They don't give them that place. And then they look at people that have done that and have been doing it for years. Let me show you what I mean. It's going to take me 5 years to 7 years to mature my YouTube channel, right? I got YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and I'm going to be doing my Instagram, and I have my Twitter, of course. But look, this is my videos. This is one of these.
Yeah, I've seen that your YouTube channel I will comment it.
But you see, it's in the mind. It's in the ability to help you to see for yourself that you can achieve your dreams. That when you connect your focus and your knowledge together, when you understand that you're sufficient inside of yourself to be you, that you're qualified to be you, that it's up to you to choose to be qualified to be yourself, that who you are inside, it just takes to sit down and start to study oneself, that gives oneself the ability to become liberated. You free yourself by freeing your mind.
And one more thing that you said, every day take a pen and paper and write. Like what to write? Means what happened in the whole day or something like that.
Okay, so if you allow yourself to plan your day, I'll give you an example of how to structure it. When I was working for Chrysler and I was selling cars 50, 60 hours a week, driving 35 to 40 hours a week. I was in a place where I was working 100 hours a week. And I wrote down my 24-hour schedule. And so I put myself in a place where I was accountable for everything I did for 24 hours a day. So some of the biggest billionaires understand this stuff on the face of the planet as well. You can go ahead and pull up Dan Pena, which is 50 billion plus, and he will be talking about taking ownership of your time. You go ahead and look at Eric Thomas, is going to tell you the same exact thing. Now I'm telling you how I did it. And so for me, every single day, I wake up, do meditation, do video, drive, spend time, write, do things that are bringing me closer to understanding myself, putting myself in a place where I will achieve the things that I want to achieve. And so if I could recommend to do one thing, that would be start to study yourself and see deep into it. Use all of the advantages that you have around you so you can understand you, and to start searching out for positivity so that way you will be the tool that you already are inside. And we each are that tool in this universe.
We cannot avoid any of the two persons. Like I said, we have two persons inside. Like first one is like communicating with you, and who wants to be good. And the second one is like watch videos, porn, and that means we cannot avoid the second person. Even if we become, I've become the first person, but then I'm gonna indulge into the second person, and it keeps on shifting. It cannot be the one.
What I'm saying to you is, when you allow yourself to be you, that allows the people that are meant to come in your direction to come in your direction. When you embrace this understanding inside of oneself, that you allow the people that aren't meant for you, they will see you for who you are, and they will seek you out for who you are. You don't need to impress anybody. You don't need to impress anybody to be yourself. You have to be truthful with yourself and work with the hardest trait on the face of the planet, self-honesty. What's going on inside? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's what I faced off against when I was meditating and I had nothing but myself, my clothes on, my two dogs in the car, and I was meditating and I was delivering food 12 hours a day. That's what I found, to become best friends with oneself.
Yes.
When we become our own best supporter, When we work through our situations, when we talk to ourselves, when we work with our challenges, when we put ourselves in a place, we start to believe in ourselves, we start to believe in our ability to focus past our challenges, to make it through our things, the universe responds with positive and negative forces, asking you if this is what you truly want. Depending on how focused one is, the knowledge inside becomes available. Through discipline, that knowledge becomes a reflection. And that reflection becomes an inspiration. And the people around us become uplifted from us being ourselves. Simple saying, complicated solution, right? But it's as simple as day. Being ourselves. 100% yourself. See, understanding oneself shows a reflection of self-love. Self-love is just an emotion. That emotion comes from knowledge. The first seed of it is that you chose that it was a positive thing. And that feeling you feel comes from your choice to feel that. But it first must be self-honest. See, it's the liberation of one's mind that meditation exists for. It's the liberation of one's pain that meditation exists for. It's the understanding of the process that we are a classroom, that we get the understanding. And that is why I see these cushions, I see this stuff, I see all of these pictures, and they don't get it. They seek out somebody else to teach. It's inside. It's already there. It already exists. Inside of your own certifications, inside of your own qualities, inside of your own qualifications to be yourself. And they tested me. You know, they asked about how can we work with Shakti energy, right? Oh, you can't teach Shakti energy outside of a Isha temple. Oh yeah? Are you a human being? That was my response. I'm a part of that group, but you know what? Not because of the Isha. I don't need to. Actually, I don't even care to be qualified as a part of their group. It's because there's a universal aspect, and it's called you and I. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm talking about generations of meditation here. My mom was a direct student of Yogi Bhajan. My dad went to Japan and learned meditation. My grandpa and my great-grandpa did meditation.
So it's in your genes.
It's in my DNA, yeah. And it excelled past it when I did over 5 hours in a sauna.
You have that capability, in sense. We do have that capability, it might as not in genes or...
But I'm telling you, this capability is inside of all of us. It's inside of... I've seen it in people with autism. I was inside the sauna and there was a guy with high-level autism sitting next to me and doing meditation. So what I'm saying is, if you have focus and knowledge inside of you, it's up to oneself to liberate themselves. And how you liberate yourself is up to you. The way in which I do it inside of me is when I connect and I completely shut down everything and I start facing off against this internal universe. And then the reflection radiates outwards.
I guess means everyone means all have the same, all should have the same. Means it's not you are something different than me. So we should we two should have the same goal in the life. Or you can say all of the human beings should have the same.
See, that's the thing, and that's why I know that eventually when I make my way out there, people are going to start seeking me out. Because here's the thing. I'm not here to lift myself up. You hear me telling you how you can do it for yourself. I'm sharing my own experience, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what I do.
The first place that made me realize that people are seeking out the wrong teacher was when he said, to them this. You don't know. When you say that to a human being, that means that you do not understand that the greatest teacher is within. So this taught me that the way that I'm headed is a direction in which other people will seek me out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's in that mentality that I felt like I was trucking in the snow by myself, because I don't feel like there's a lot of teachers out there that are teaching us how to be who we truly are on the inside. They want it for themselves. I don't. See, my mantra is the law of riches. It means when I help people, I receive more in return. Do you know what I'm saying? So, in schooling and doing those things, your father, your mother might have an idea for what you are to do. But it's until you sit down with yourself and you study for what you truly want to do, that you're going to excel at what you want to do. You know, after all, you're going to have to do the years of schooling or the years of mastery or the years of whatever you want to become. It's going to be you versus you.
Whatever I want to do means it needs some money. Like, parents also say that get a life, then do what you want to do, feel like whatever. But first time money.
I couldn't hear what you said there.
I was saying that, my parents said that do what you want to do, but first earn money for it. Like playing video games, or you can say other things which do not give us money. But they say that first earn money, then do the right things. And for earning money, what I have to do, I don't have interest in that. So that's where I stuck, and that's the plan for me.
See, you have learned stuff like anybody else across the face of the planet has. You have seen things that are positive for you, and you have seen things that are negative for you, right? Wouldn't you say? So, what are some of those things that you've seen that are positive? When you're putting yourself in a place, other people react to you as a reflection. So when you start seeking out that understanding of that place, it starts to free oneself. I think of what people like to call inner light. They're like, are you truly inner light? The understanding of the knowledge inside is light. So, understanding that for yourself is to be you. And we all are inner lights. It's when we achieve it inside of ourselves that freedom comes. So find what brings you closer to have an able mentality.
I'll try today. Okay, so means I already know. And I was saying, then Baba, sorry for that means ads too much of, so I will not able to speak wisely. And also my English is too well. You could have understand it till now.
Yeah. Well, here's the cool part. Even though it's very scrambling, I can still understand it, so I'm listening to the best I can, you know?
Yeah, that's how I just good at typing English, not saying.
It's okay.
Okay.
So that's when you think from that angle. Do you see this message here? So, all right. So it says here, positivity a waste, my G. Bad people always going to be bad. Better off than the good. Okay. That is if you believe the good and bad exists. First off, That's if you are searching out positive and negative in the universe. You're not searching for if things are good or bad. You're searching for self-honesty and positive things coming in your direction. So that isn't it versus somebody else. This is something of you putting yourself in a place where what you have inside is in check with you, to where you're asking yourself the question, not asking yourself, being myself is a good or bad thing. Okay? So that is where the mentality can be elevated there. And so what does it take to get to that place is what I talk about all the time. So it's literally, you know, I can give you an example. There's people that are really, really positive people in the world that are ultra rich. That's just because they use their tool properly. They use their tools properly. You know, that's just one form. Wealth is just one form. You know, like, are you peaceful in your life? Are you giving yourself, do you have time for you? There's people that have no time for you, and there's people that have a lot of time for themselves, and their wealth is to sit inside of a forest and to walk. I have a friend in the Netherlands who has a nature meditation walking. And so he utilizes that form of understanding of that wealth in this universe to see the positive force and to understand how to start utilizing it. So that is what we're talking about, is the mentality. And that's fine. You know, if somebody else have done it, you know, like if you're in a place like that, Harry, I would like you to pull up a book called The Science of Getting Rich. Listen to that every night. Let that vibrate. Let that soak into the mind. You know, if somebody else is able to do it where you're at, then you're able to do it as well. And so it's inside of the able. Yeah, well, I mean, no matter where you are, like I came out here to the mountains in Prescott, Arizona, like 5,000 feet, whatever, and I started to do meditation by myself, and people started seeking me out. I put stuff out, and people started telling me you should get paid. So in the month of December, what did I do? I said, let me go ahead and give it away for free. Let me go ahead and give energy readings away for free this month because I want to help people out. Because I love what I do. I know what I do. I know that I've been doing this long enough that I want to help people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will come like tomorrow, maybe when you stream end, so I will come one day in December, then we will do energy days. Is it right?
Well, yeah, like I probably will end up doing a meditation session today before I go to bed. Here, I mean, everything that happens around us and inside of us comes from our own vibration and our own understanding. And so yin and yang is that positive and negative forces in the universe that are understood by Newton. So if we can simply break this stuff down, other people have been trying to utilize it since the beginning of time. You can find different levels of elevation about the stuff that I talk about across the face of the planet. And it's up for one to understand it for themselves, that they start to build their mentality. And so, you know, anyone else that wants to call in to get an energy reading's welcome to. I'll go ahead and open that up so we can actually get some of these going. It's pretty awesome that we do have a conversation going on in here about these kinds of things, and I like to continue to get that going and to get that kind of mentality into a place where, you know, we're creating a vibe and environment where others have that ability to continue on that way. Blessings. Hopefully I answered a lot of the questions. It was kind of scrambled there, but I want you to to see that you can do the things and you can achieve your dreams there. And so it honestly, I kind of look at the law of attraction like first grade in the world of mental, physical reality, because you can see the attraction coming your way, and it does, but it comes in a way that body in motion stays in motion, right? So I guess you could call that the law of attraction. So if you stay positive and you're moving in a positive direction, positivity will start to seek you out. And so in that sense, that level can. But what happens when you go past that? What happens when your mentality starts to get to a point where you want to leave blessings for people, right? So I was meditating inside the sauna, and I got out and I was like saying thank you to everybody. Like, I'd go pick up a food, thank you. Drop off a food, thank you. Have somebody in the car, thank you. And then I started to realize that we want to be the ones leaving gifts from our ability to be ourselves, to have that ability, that energy inside of ourselves start to have that place. And that's when I started to say blessings. I started to put that out there, and I started to see the percentage increase. I started to understand the process of it. And then as I was listening to other motivational speakers, they started talking about the same process that I was already utilizing. And so I started to recognize that utilizing that process of focus, what you focus into becomes a reflection, builds a reflection outwards, comes from an understanding, comes from a place where your mentality is, comes from an ability for you to be yourself, comes from an ability for you to face off against the things that nobody else can, to the person that you are inside, and that is where that ability to go beyond that. So like, okay, we realize these exist. How do we start utilizing them, right? How do we start going beyond that point? Do you believe to continue beyond the point that the law of attraction is just one part of the humongous universal picture? And so it's simple for us to be on that page. But what about the next page? What about the mentality to go beyond it, to elevate yourself to where you're on your journey, on your path, and you're not stopped at the law of attraction? So that is what we're talking about here. We're talking about how you build from within out, how you go from within out, how you radiate light outwards, how you start to understand your journey, how, when you're positive and things are not working for you, you start to fill it with positivity and you allow those things to move out of their way on their own. What then? And so it's inside of that mentality that we talk about. It's inside of that ability inside to focus to those kinds of challenges that they can no longer have a place to stop you. And so I feel like that's a first grade elementary that's taught. I feel like there's much more to it than just that. I feel like, the energy inside, the ability, like Robert Kiyosaki, like I've said, he stated that energy is nothing more than emotion is nothing more than energy in motion. And so we do have these types of things that are going to challenge our mentality. They're going to challenge our ability. They're going to see that the positivity starts working for you. It starts to work within you. And it's inside of that we start to work on the ability to use our challenges. It's inside of that we start to gain access to the mentality inside of oneself. A lot of us are facing off against different things. If you've ever had a headache and you started to think positive and you started to see your challenge, you started to backtrack to where you got the headache from, a lot of times as you're facing off against those challenges, you'll start to overcome them, and then you'll find that the headache just went away. And so are you giving yourself that place to allow it to have that kind of power of where your mind is great, your mentality is great, your ability for you to be yourself is great, where you focus beyond the things that are stopping you, where you are focusing beyond focus, where you're getting to the place inside where your mentality goes beyond your challenges. And it's up to you to reach it. It's up for you to become it. It's up for you to manifest it. It's up for you to reflect it. It's up for you to be it and to believe in you. When you become your best friend, when you become your ally, when you become your focus, when you are out there helping other people to understand their energy, blessings. We are doing energy readings. We are talking about mentality. We're filling in that time with wonderful stories, with wonderful abilities for us to face off against our challenges and to see who we are on the inside, and to see how we can overcome those kind of challenges. Like I was saying, we connect with the network, Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration.yoga, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, of course. Also, we got our Twitch followers out there. So, what kind of challenges are you guys facing off against? What kind of things are you going through? We will have challenges. We will need energy working in our favor. We will need things moving in our direction. We will need people that are there to uplift us, to face off against the things that nobody else can, to be in a positive place, to be in a positive vibe, to be in a positive mentality. And it's when you're going through that type of a place inside of yourself that you will overcome your challenges. It's when you're going through that kind of place inside of yourself to where you will be who you are on the inside, where what you have going on doesn't have the ability to stop you. And so, where do we go inside? What challenges do we face off against? What place do we want to go that nobody else can? What type of things do you want to face off against that nobody else can do for you? Because you are going to face challenges. You are going to have things that are going to, they're going to test your ability for you to be you. They're going to test your ability for you to be who you are on a daily. They're going to ask you what it's going to take to go through it. And it's going to be ultimately you that's going to be testing yourself. It's ultimately going to be you that's going to be asking the questions. It's going to be you that's going to have to, face off against your own challenges. It's going to be you that's going to ask, what can I do to get through these kinds of challenges? What can I do to be who I am on the inside? What can I do to face off against things that nobody else can do for me? And I will do that. You will succeed inside of yourself if you believe in you. You will succeed inside of your challenges if you put yourself in a place where you utilize what you have, where what you have inside radiates light. Where do we go to that level? When do we get to that level? How do we get to that level? What does it take for us to become that kind of light in the universe? And so each day you will face off against things that nobody else can do for you. You will have things that, you can achieve. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your mentality. You got to sit down with who you are inside and see it's worth it. And so it was great to help people across the face of the planet. It was great to get to the place inside where we're using these challenges to overcome them. And so we all have challenges. So here we go. Let me see if I can get you live here, okay? We'll start working through your challenges here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this going. So what I have here is I see life like a fight. My mom died. I see that as like a punch, and I wanted to hit back, but there's no one to hit. The energy building up. I haven't been through what you have. I've only been through my own challenges. However, I can share with you through the challenges that I've faced off against so that you can use the tools to be able to move past your challenges so they no longer have the ability to affect you anymore. So in a case where somebody leaves you, right? Okay, I can give you an example. So when I was left in the beginning of at the end of last year, I felt like I had lost my best friend. I had been with somebody for 8 years. I had married them. I had sat down with that person inside who I had thought was my best friend. So in the case of your mother, she was your friend. So let's go ahead and look at how I overcame this challenge, okay? And let's look at how we allow things to fill us with positivity so that we can do that. Now, what started to happen was I started to study myself. I started to meditate to the point where I basically could have died. I mean, 7 hours inside a sauna, getting out, sitting in a car, all your nerves around your body seizing, and choosing to live. And I remember that is a choice to live. It's a choice to focus. It's a choice to love yourself in a way that you start to know you. And it's inside of knowing yourself that you find that you are sufficient to be who you are. And that your challenges are not greater than you are. Your challenges are not greater than who you are on the inside. Who you are on the inside is greater than your challenges. And inside of that, you can find your best friend, which is you. When I connected with the breath to that level, where I understood what was inside, I started to remember the day that I was at the beach. And I realized that before that happened, I realized that. When I was on the beach and I realized that if somebody's with you or somebody's not with you, it's okay. You are still on your journey. So we have to embrace our journey. The people are going to come on our journey for their stop. It may be for our life. It may be for a short time. It's for us to embrace that part of our journey that frees ourselves to become best friends with who we are on the inside. And so it's not something to beat ourselves up over. It's something to understand for ourselves to be who we are on the inside. And so hopefully that story right there brings you freedom inside to understand that it's the self-study that matters the most. And it's freedom that that person was on your path, that they were on your journey. It's freedom to understand that your journey continues. And it's freedom to understand that you are liberation. And at that point, where I was free inside to no longer let it affect me, sure, it leaves scars. Yeah, I had a scar across my chest for the longest time. Sure, it leaves pain. Yeah, it's a teacher. It teaches you that your knowledge inside is sufficient for you to be you. And yes, it's there for you to grow past and to see the story and that they were great to be a part of your journey. Never forget your own journey. And never forget that you're a blessing in the universe. So anybody else wants to get an energy reading in, wants to get on here, starts to ask for the energy readings. In the month of December, I will be giving away energy readings for this month. Looking forward to it, looking forward to getting that energy flowing inside of yourself, and how you can start to overcome your own challenges, getting into your place where you give yourself that kind of permission to be who you are on the inside. We got to look inside of ourselves. We got to look inside of our past, our journey, and to see that our reflection shows the purpose. So each day people say, hey, it's easier said than done. And then they put that path in front of them. They take it a bite at a time. They take it a challenge at a time. And they overcome those things. So I'm really grateful for you all. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this with you. I'm grateful for the challenges and the things that I face off against, that we all face off against daily, that we have inside of ourselves. And, you know, we have to learn how to be who we are, to face off against the challenges that we face off against. Ultimately, self-knowledge shows a reflection of self-love. So when we understand ourselves, we understand our challenges, when we understand our reflection, we become a blessing in the universe. And as I close, I just want to say blessings to all, and always as namaste.